Hello and welcome to this new video. Today's topic is about Nikto. It's a web vulnerability scanner. And what is it? What is for? It's an open source software tool developed in Perl language and which function as a vulnerability scanner for web servers. The main objective is to identify and report weaknesses or vulnerabilities exist in a web-based application. Nikto scans for a vast range of vulnerabilities, and result can be very extensive. So it is essential to filter the findings to specific vulnerability types. Now, which it takes us to this option. It's called tuning. Now, tuning means it refers to the search settings. You know, well, what do we do in this case? We adjust these settings to target a particular type of vulnerability, restricts the vulnerability scanner action. Now, it's very important because Nikto has massive scope and can produce overwhelming information if not targeted correctly. Therefore, fine-tuning the scan is essential to handle the results effectively. Now, these are some of the features you can find. Like it's free to use, open source, and it's included in Kali Linux. It can scan any web server, including Apache. It scans against over 6,700 known vulnerabilities and version checks for over 1,250 web servers. It scans for configuration issues, mistakes, such as open index directories. It can scan SSL certificate. It has the ability to scan multiple ports on the server with multiple web servers running. It has ability to scan through a proxy. It can also scan using HTTP authentication, and you could specify the maximum scan time. Now, uh, what's the difference between Nessus versus Nikto? Nessus is an excellent security scanning tool that does remote vulnerability scans on a computer. It search on the web server and all the machine ports that may have any software running into it. Now, on the other hand, Nikto is a vulnerability scanning tool focusing solely on the web servers, and that's it. That's all what it does. Now, let's look at the practical part, but before we proceed into practical section, keep in mind that using a web vulnerability scanner against live web servers without proper authorization is illegal and highly discouraged. It can cause harm and damage to the server, and this is considered a very serious crime. Therefore, it is advised to only use web vulnerability scanner on a system that you have explicit permission to test. Or you could build your own testing environment using like a VMware or using uh, Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, so let's get into the practical part here. Okay, that's it. Okay, now I do recommend anytime you start doing to do update, like sudo apt-get update and upgrade for your Kali Linux before you proceed. Okay, I already done this, so I'm gonna get into the Nikto-h. This is the first command where we learn about the options there in the system. Now, I'm gonna go over some of the important things. For example, CGI there, it means it scans for CGI scripts. Here, for example, which is something we will demonstrate it, DB check. Okay, here is the format plus output. Like you want the final report of the scanning to be output, okay, and with HTTP format, and that's my favorite one. Now, uh, the help, you see it here. We have dash host. Uh, when you see the plus, this means that you need to add an IP address to it. Okay. Now, in our case here, or you could use -H space IP address. Okay, what else? Here you could specify the maximum time. Here you can see the maximum time per host. You could see 60 seconds. Okay, and there's other options. If you want no DNS lookup, here if you want to disable the use of SSL, here if you encounter 404 error, you want Nikto to ignore it. Here if you want to write the output to a file of your choice, you can name the file you want of your choice. Okay, what else? Here, this is important, like if you want to use a specific port, like if your web server has multiple websites, which in this case, for sure, you would have multiple ports running different websites. Okay, so you can specify that. Uh, Here, if you want to force it to use SSL mode, now the interesting option is tuning. Tuning, you got plenty of option for tuning, and one for interesting file, seeing your logs, or misconfiguration, or information disclosure, or for injection, and some other option. And what else here? Here you could see another option like URL plus. Again, plus that means that you need to add an IP after the URL. Okay, which is an alias of -host. Okay, if you want to use a proxy, you know, if you want to use, if you want to find out the version of it, okay. And here, if you want to ignore HTTP codes, you know. So let's clear this one, okay. And the first thing we need to do, let's do a quick scan, okay, page for the one of the web servers, 192. Okay, it's here. Okay, and you can see that it start doing the scanning. Okay, this is just a standard scan. We're not using any tuning or anything like this. It will keep running, and scanning every information about the web server. So we will just cancel that to save time. Okay, here. Now let's do scanning against a specific port. Port, I would say 8180. Okay. And here, if you notice, you could always add another port here. This is also another option. So, but let's just run only one single port. Okay. So we'll cancel this to save time because it could take some time. Okay, clear. Now let's see the SSL. SSL. Now it has tested. Well, SSL is not running on the host machine, so nothing will happen. Now let's see another option. The Nikto scanner can save the scan output to a file for future reference. This is like, especially like if you're running multiple scans. So what I like to do, I will say dash output, okay, and then I'm gonna save it into desktop file.txt, press enter, and if I minimize the screen here, I will see the file has been created. So I'm gonna pause that, okay, or cancel it in other words. Okay, now we have another option. Beside the output, okay, I'm gonna say file to Uh, but this time I want to set the format to HTM. HTM. Run. And it's called file 2. So again, I'm gonna kill it to save some time. Go here. Here's file 2. You click on it. The scan has not been completed. Okay. Publish the trash. Okay. Clear. Now, uh, another type of scanning is the no, the no error here. No 404. Okay. Nothing is going to happen, but it's just an option. Clear. Now, another option is to set the maximum time you want. Max time, I would say like 15 seconds. Okay, so it's only just 50 seconds. Now, why would I want to do that for here? Well, see, while scanning a web server for large amount of data, I mean, number of results may be very extensive. Okay, and becomes too much. You see that here? 16 seconds. So in such cases, it's advisable to restrict the scan duration to, few minutes to obtain the information. Fix those vulnerabilities, and then come back and run the scan again. Fix and run the scan again. Uh, so this is one option to do that. That's clear. Now, the tuning, this is something very interesting. And as I mentioned previously, tuning option will control the test that Nikto will use against a target. Now, by default, if any options are specified, only those tests will be performed. Now, I would like to run Nmap to show you what type of service I'm running here. Okay, and against Metasploitable 2, you will see two different web servers here. Okay, so right now I could see that I have uh, uh, two HTTP services running. The first one, Apache HTTPD 2.2.8, and the other one is the Tomcat. Okay, so good. So let's clear the screen. Okay, now let's use one of the timing option over here. I'm gonna keep port 80. I'm gonna use dash T. Now T uh, 2, this is for the misconfiguration or default file. So I'm gonna run it here. Let's see what type of interesting information we might be able to see. Oops, sorry. I meant to say, okay, Victor, okay, dash H here, port 80, okay, okay. Let's run it against port 81 and 80 here. Okay, so what can we see here? HTTP method allow, see allow, put method and delete method. Now, what is the problem with that? You see the put and delete are enabled, which allows the remote client to perform dangerous HTTP methods. For example, put could allow clients to save files on the web server. That's something we do not want. The delete allow clients to remove files on the web server. So uh, this is type of wrong configuration. Clear? Okay. Let's do T3. for directory browsing issue. Let's run this. Let's do port 80. Okay. Let's see if it's there or not. Oh, see that here over here? Now we have another issue. Here we have directory indexing found, and this directory is browsable. That's a problem here. Okay. Okay. What else here? Here we have also PHP reveals potential sensitive information via certain HTTP requests. Okay. So that's also another issue we found here. Okay. Now let's see if the system has injection attack. -4. Okay, now we could see that yes, it does because the anti-click jacking X-frame option here is not present, which means that it is susceptible to XSS attack. In this case here. Also, we noticed that the Apache 2.2.8 appears to be outdated. Okay, so that's one option here. That's interesting information. Now let's do clear and let's run multiple commands here like HTTP port 8180. Okay, and I would like the format in HTML. Okay, and output to the desktop. Let's call it v report. V report. Okay, let's run it. This is going to take some time. Again, you will see that the methods here, you could see that the click jacking is vulnerability there. Okay, what else? We could see that appears to a default Apache Tomcat. So this means that it's a default installation. That's not a good news. Okay. Uh, Also, we could see some documentation can be revealed. Give it some time for it to finish. Oh, look at this one over here. Here, for example, we see that there is admin login page found. Okay, and admin page found here. And oh, this is interesting also. Default account found for Tomcat application. To see the ID is Tomcat and the password is Tomcat. It found that. Okay, so right now, let's clear the screen. Okay, and then let's take a look at the report we found. Here's the report in HTML. Okay, here you could see that. Here you could see uh, the type of Apache running. And here in the report, we could see the anti-click jacking. It's running. Okay. And what else? We could find something interesting here. The options. Here it says allowed HTTP methods. Now you could see that the format in HTML is much nicer than reading, the output in the text format. And here also again, the HTTP method allow header put, and here the delete. What else we could find? Okay, and Here we could see Tomcat may be configured to let attackers read arbitrary files, restrict access to admin. It seemed to be that the admin is not restricted. Okay, let it run, we come back to it. Okay, some documentation can be found here, which is fine. Okay, continue, scroll down. Here you could see, you see that over here, the Tomcat Manager application. And this is Tomcat for a password. This makes your job a lot easier to uh, to break into the system. So let's go here and let's go for a user application, internet, and let's use this one over here. Now, paste that, enter. Oh, see that? It says Tomcat. 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 Let's see if it works. There you go. Right now, I'm inside Tomcat Web Application Manager. So I hope you found this video useful and thank you so much for watching. Leave any comments you have. Let me know, anything you find it. I mean, something to add in the future or any comment. I really appreciate it. Thank you again.